Cute alert as Taiwan's first giant panda, cub goes on show. A chorus of ohs, ahs, and I want once sounded from Taiwan Monday as the first giant panda to be born on this island. The 6-month-old cub, Yuan Zai, was unveiled to the public at Taipei Zoo. Conceived via artificial insemination, the bear was delivered on July 7 last year. Around 10,000 people lined up to see Yuan Zai Monday, the zoo said, some arriving hours before opening time. Hundreds watched Yuan Zai's first appearance as she showed off her climbing skills on logs and trees, before crawling off to nap with her mother. Visitors are to be capped at just under 20,000 people a day. Panda fever, the birth of Yuan Zai, which means both child of Yuan Yuan and rice ball, sparked panda fever on Taiwan. The bear already has her own YouTube channel documenting her cutest moment. Yuan Zai is expected to generate 500 million NT dollars through commercial opportunities within the next 6 months, the Taipei city government said. The cub's mother, Yuan Yuan, and her mate, Tuan Tuan, were given to Taiwan by China in 2008. Their names combine meaning renewing in Chinese. Brilliant cube lights up Gangnam. A spectacular kinetic cube is lighting up Seoul's district of Gangnam, comprised of 576 clear LED poles that move up and down. The 333 square meter matrix named Brilliant Cube continuously flashes hypnotic, colorful patterns and images in one of the most crowded and now famous areas of Seoul. Korean media artist Jin Yong-mak created the 3D matrix in collaboration with Seoul-based media artist group John Passan, and requested animation images from fellow media artists Zhu Xi, Angel Silva, and Alvaro Casolani. The full hypnotic effect that uses up to 120 kilowatts per day can be seen in this video. More than 50 people were involved in the 4-month production process. It should have taken a lot larger actually, but the Korean work environment doesn't allow this, so we finished very quick, said Moak. Moak was also the creative mind behind the beautiful 3-layer LED facade of another Seoul icon. The Shinseok department store was, as well as the dramatic kinetic landscape hypermetric exhibit at the Yeso Expo last year. Hyundai Motor Company commissioned the $1.5 billion work with additional support from the Gangnam District government. Moog's artwork, infusing art with technology, fitly imagine that Hyundai has been increasingly aiming to project, leading to the Korean conglomerates commissions of both Brilliant Cube and Hypermatrix. This latest project was unveiled in October with much fanfare. It was planned to show until December, but the end date has been extended until March due to its popularity. It will probably be moved to the National Museum of Contemporary Art in Seoul after March, said Moog. Hot in Harbin, world's most spectacular winter festival opens. Planning on building an igloo or snowman this winter? Sorry, we're not impressed. The neighborhood kids might not be either, after they see what ice sculptors have planned for the 2014 Harbin Ice and Snow Festival. Kicking off on January 5th, this foresty wonderland in northern China features crazy sculptures made from massive ice blocks and illuminated with colorful LED lights. Sculptors have been carving away with ice picks, chisels, and lasers for the last 2 weeks in preparation. The result is an exhibition of extravagant castles, a Colosseum and Empire State Building, all made with ice blocks from the frozen Songhua River. Is anything in China not getting bigger? Celebrating its 30th anniversary in 2014, the Winter Festival gets more impressive and more extravagant each year. The highlight is a towering replica for the church in Reykjavik, Iceland. According to organizers, the structure is the tallest ice sculpture in China, 46 meters, and was made with 12,000 meters of ice. The replica features a 240-meter-long slide for visitors. Apart from replicas, the North Korea Pyongyang National Acrobatic Troupe will perform. Visitors can skate on ice rinks and snowboard. As China's most famous and popular winter attraction, the festival has drawn a combined 28.5 million visitors in the past 2 years. To combat Harbin's sub-zero temperatures, organizers have set up 13 hot beverage stations around the park and offer complimentary ginger tea at its concert hall. Depending on winter, the festival is open until March 2014. Control-led air rage. Airlines want clearer rules on rowdy passengers. From a famous French actor accused of revealing himself in the gangway of a cabin to an unruly messenger that to be restrained on a flight from Iceland to New York last year. Bad behavior on planes comes in a variety of forms. Carriers have said they face daily issues like passengers watching pornography, throwing drinks at cabin crew, or being verbally abused. But captains and crew are often worried they could be sued or assaulted for assault if they take action in response. That's why the International Air Transport Association, IAIT, wants to clarify what measurements are allowed to be taken in situations that aren't clear safety threat. Airlines have reported over 15,000 incidents to IATA since it started collecting reports of bad passenger behavior in 2007. It's something we need to tackle as an industry and across the globe, said IATA spokesperson Chris Goulter. The association wants to address the issue at a diplomatic conference in Montreal in March, hoping for a global agreement on new guidelines. Golden days of flying, a thing of the past. The current legislation is based on the 1963 Tokyo Convention, which governs criminal offenses that pose a serious safety threat. But the reality of today's industry is very different to that when the Tokyo Convention was developed, states IATA. Psychologist Robert Bohr, who was specialized in passenger behavior and fear of flying, agrees that much has changed since the 1960s. In those days, flying was dreamlike. People would dress up to go traveling, and the airline's adverts reflected the actual experience, he said. Bohr thinks the increase in air rage can be explained by more efficient reporting on one hand, but also by looking at society in general. It's evident that people are under a lot of pressure with their time and money, he said. He thinks the proposed revision of the Tokyo Convention is a step in the right direction. It is very important that we learn more about air range, and that there is common policy between different countries about how to address it. Stealing wine and threatening crew. But what really causes passengers to behave so badly on flight? Bohr says there are many different factors coming together. If you look at air rage cases, it's often a fairly ordinary person, and the trigger can be another person who might put their seat back, added with a bit of alcohol consumption and a fear of flying. Another factor could be the cabin layout and the environment in the aircraft. We know by research that lack of space can cause stress or even anger, and people can become terrible, said Bohr. We might think of it as more trivial things, but actually we know that stress is cumulative. What might be defined as rowdy passengers' behavior can vary widely, and IATA has no grading system, says Golder. Many cases involve alcohol consumption, like a man reportedly stealing wine from a trolley to lock himself in the toilet and drink it. With a common policy, Golder hopes passengers will then have a clear message of the consequences of acting up in the air. The small minority that commit unruly behavior and acts will begin to understand the serious consequences of their actions, and police authorities and courts will have the necessary legal tools to deal with them in adequate manner, he said.